The mood at Manchester United's training ground was one of focused determination as the squad resumed training sessions at their Carrington facility, preparing for their upcoming clash with Tottenham Hotspur. After a hard-fought victory at home, the team's spirits were high, but manager Ruben Amorim knew that this next challenge wouldn't be easy. Tottenham, while not in great form, still posed a significant threat, and Amorim was taking no chances. "We've had a good win at home, but this is another important game," he said, looking out at the pitch as the players warmed up. "Tottenham may be struggling, but they're a team that can hit you when you least expect it. We need to be at our best." Among the players training was new signing Dog, a player who had already started to make a positive impression since joining the club. The young winger, who had impressed in his brief appearances so far, was seen working hard alongside his teammates, eager to prove himself further. "We've seen glimpses of his potential," Amorim continued, watching Dogu sprint down the wing. "He's a talented player, and I believe he's going to deliver in the coming games. It's all about patience with him. He's settling in, and we're confident he'll make an impact soon." Despite the optimism surrounding Dogu's future contributions, Amorim was focused on the bigger picture. With recent struggles in the squad, the manager was keen to ensure that the training sessions weren't just about individual performances, but about the team coming together as a cohesive unit. "We've been heavily criticized at times, but that only makes us more determined," Amorim said as he addressed the squad. "Training must lead to something positive. We need to keep improving and build on the momentum from our last win." As the session progressed, the intensity ramped up. Every pass, every tackle, every sprint was executed with a sense of purpose. The team knew that a win over Tottenham would be crucial to their ambitions, especially with the tight competition at the top of the table. "Spurs may not be in great form, but that doesn't mean we can take them lightly," Amorim added. "I trust in this group to train hard and get the result we need this weekend." With the weekend fast approaching, the players seemed determined. If the hard work on the training pitch could translate into a dominant performance against Tottenham, the Red Devils could begin to build a run of victories that would propel them up the table. Ruben Amorim stood at the edge of the Carrington training pitch, arms crossed, eyes fixed on his players, as they prepared for another crucial battle in the Premier League. The sun was setting over the training ground, casting long shadows across the well-worn turf, and the sounds of the ball being passed and players shouting instructions filled the air. The intensity was palpable. This was no ordinary training session. Amorim's mind was firmly set on the weekend clash with Tottenham Hotspur. "Tottenham may not be in great form, but they're a team that can hit you when you least expect it," Amorim said, voice steady but laced with focus. He was speaking to himself as much as to his coaching staff, the weight of the upcoming game pressing on him. "We need to be at our best." Despite Spurs' recent struggles, Amorim knew better than to underestimate a team with players like Harry Kane, Son Heung-min, and the dangerous Dejan Kulusevski. Tottenham may have been faltering, but in the Premier League, form could change in an instant, and Amorim had seen enough to know Spurs were still capable of shocking the best teams on any given day. United's win at home had lifted the spirits around the club, but Amorim wasn't letting the team get too comfortable. The road ahead was far from easy, and his focus was unwavering. "It's all about consistency," he continued, glancing over at his squad as they worked through tactical drills. "One good win doesn't make a season. It's the effort we put in every week that counts." The players could sense their manager's determination. They had seen the way Amorim's focus sharpened as the matchday approached. Every detail mattered now. It wasn't just about individual brilliance, it was about collective effort. United had to be more than the sum of its parts if they were to overcome the challenges that lay ahead. As the session wore on, Amorim took note of the younger players, including Dogu, who was beginning to find his rhythm within the squad. The new signing had impressed in limited appearances, but this was the moment that would define his early days at United. He was ready to step up and prove that the faith placed in him was well justified. Dog's got what it takes, Amorim thought to himself, watching the winger glide past defenders in a one-on-one drill. Now, we need to ensure he understands what it means to play in this system, to play for Manchester United. The rest of the squad followed suit. Manchester United still open to signing Giovanni Quenda amid doubts over two fullbacks' futures. Manchester United have been tracking Giovanni Quenda since his sporting debut under Ruben Amorim at the start of the season. Manchester United remain open to signing sporting winger Giovanni Quenda, despite the arrival of Patrick Dorgu from Lecce. United met with influential agent Jorge Mendes in November, as his Gestifute agency is now negotiating on behalf of the 17-year-old Quenda and his representative. United have been tracking Quenda since he made his debut for Sporting in August. A separate source said Mendes has bought half of Quenda's image rights. Quenda, 17, and Dorgu, 20, are both left-footed, and Dorgu occupied the wide right role on his debut against Leicester City that Quenda played in under Ruben Amorim at Sporting this season. However, Dorgu is expected to be primarily used on the left in the future, and United head coach Amorim wants attack-minded wingers to service the striker in the future. United have already loaned out Tyrell Malaysia at PSV Eindhoven, who have an option to buy in the summer, and there is uncertainty over the future of fellow left-back Luke Shaw. Shaw has not started a match for United since February 18th last year, and he has played as many times for England as he has for United since then. He suffered a setback last week in his recovery from a hamstring injury that has kept Shaw sidelined for more than 2 months. The 30-year-old is under contract at United until 2027, but it is unclear whether United will tolerate another injury-prone season from Shaw, who has played 18 club games since August 2023. Club and agency sources rubbished reports in Portugal last week that United were planning to sign Quenda on transfer deadline day. Quenda has started in 18 of Sporting's 21 league fixtures this season and in all 8 of their Champions League ties. He has scored 2 goals and tallied 7 assists. The Portugal international has switched from the right wing to the left wing since Amorim left Lisbon in November, with Sporting now operating in a 4-3-3 formation under new coach Thiago Aguilar. Amorim's replacement, João Pereira, was sacked after only 8 games. Pereira retained Amorim's back 3 system, but Aguilar has opted for a back 4, sometimes with a second striker to partner the prolific Victor Gyökeres. Quenda was born in Guinea-Bissau and switched from Benfica's academy to Sporting at the age of 12. He was named in the club's matchday squad by Amorim as a 16-year-old last year and has been likened to the Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka. Mendes has a long-standing relationship with United dating back to Cristiano Ronaldo's first spell at the club in the 2000s. Mendes represented David De Gea for the majority of his 12 years at United, helped instigate Bruno Fernandes' transfer to United in 2020, and oversaw Ronaldo's return to the club the following year. United's executive vice chairman Ed Woodward hugged Mendes when he saw him in the director's box before Ronaldo's second debut against Newcastle United in September 2021. The atmosphere at Manchester United's training ground was tense as Ruben Amorim sat down with his coaching staff to discuss the team's immediate needs ahead of the summer transfer window. While much of the focus had been on strengthening the midfield and securing a new forward, one position remained unresolved: the fullback slots. Luke Shaw and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 2 key figures in United's defense, were at the center of the conversation. Shaw, who had battled injuries throughout the season, was growing frustrated with his lack of consistency, and rumors swirled that he was considering his options. Wan-Bissaka, on the other hand, had been solid defensively, but his lack of attacking contribution had led many to believe that a change was necessary if United were to fully embrace the attacking football Amorim was striving for. As the conversation shifted to potential replacements, Amorim's attention turned to a name that had been on United's radar for some time: Giovanni Quenda. The Brazilian fullback, who had been making waves in Serie A with his explosive style of play, was quickly becoming a rising star. His ability to defend with discipline, combined with his penchant for charging forward and joining the attack, made him an ideal candidate for a United squad that needed more dynamism from its wide defenders. Word from the scouts was promising. Quenda was the real deal. At just 22 years old, the young Brazilian had shown maturity beyond his years, often playing both as a right back and left back, offering versatility that would be a welcome addition to United's defense. His impressive performances had drawn interest from a number of top clubs across Europe, but United seemed to be leading the charge. Meanwhile, as Amorim reviewed Quenda's highlights, the news from the club's hierarchy was unsettling.